So as we all know, Anthony Davis requested a trade from the New Orleans Pelicans. He wants to go to a team that's a contender, and this is rubbing the Pelicans the wrong way. Of course, we know the Lakers are in the running, the Boston Celtics are in the running, the New York Knicks are in the running to try to get Anthony Davis. The Celtics can't really make a move now. They got Kyrie, and they will have to trade Kyrie straight up and maybe Jason Tatum and some draft picks to get Anthony Davis, and I don't think they want to do that. I think they want to stand pat because they could potentially make the NBA Finals with the roster that they have now. Then you got a team like the New York Knicks who have a potential number one pick, or the pick that they have in the draft can turn into Zion Williamson. Can turn doesn't mean it's automatically that they're gonna have the number one pick. So that's out. Of course, being a Laker fan, I would love for Anthony Davis to come to the Lakers. The only trepidation I have about that is that the New Orleans Pelicans are very upset with the way that Anthony Davis handled the situation. As we all know, Rich Paul came to management and said AD requested a trade. Rich Paul also works with LeBron James, represents LeBron James and a number of other players. So this is giving them a bad taste in their mouth. The fact that this got announced so early, so close to the trade deadline, is putting pressure on the Pelicans to deal him now as opposed to later. And then, for the Pelicans, it would be better for them to deal him later during the offseason. But the fact that it's done now, what kind of AD are you going to have during the regular season? Is it 100% AD, or is it going to be an AD that's disengaged, not really happy with what's going on? So you really, if you have a disgruntled employee, a player that wants to leave, quit, etc., you got to get rid of him as fast as you possibly can. 100%, you got to get rid of him. You can't keep him. You can't try to finagle him or try to make it, we're gonna try to get the best deal we possibly can, because at the end of the day, things are gonna happen. It's gonna mess up your locker room. The chemistry is gonna be off. For the Lakers, and I'm just speaking strictly objectively, they can't allow arrogance to get into the way of competence. They have to be completely competent and trading for Anthony Davis, or approaching the table with the Pelicans for Anthony Davis. The Pelicans already are requesting a tampering investigation. They are already upset with Anthony Davis, and according to my sources, they want to make the Lakers pay for all of this. They want them to pay extra tax. The initial deal that we've been seeing is they want Kyle Kuzma, Lance Stevenson, a pick. I think Zubac. They want Ingram. They want all those players. So right now they want you to gut your team. They want you to be your team is gutted. And that's the risk you're taking for a player like Anthony Davis. I remember when Carmelo Anthony wanted to go to the New York Knicks, and they got rid of Danilo Gallinari, Wilson Chandler. They just had a nice squad in New York. They got rid of him to get Melo, and then everybody was complaining we had a playoff team, but they were playoff bound, and now we don't have any depth in our roster. This seems really tough. Why did we trade all these pieces for Melo? Well, essentially, that's what the Lakers are going to do. But the thing with the Lakers is they invested so much in Ingram. They invested so much in Lance Stevenson, Ball, Kuzma, etc. Is this really worth the risk? Objectively speaking, looking at these guys' development, I would say yes, because I'm going to say this. Look at a guy like Ingram, Kyle Kuzma. These guys are averaging 16 points, 13. Even Lonzo Ball, if they want him, he's averaging 9 points a game. Anthony Davis is averaging about 30. He's averaging 13 rebounds a game. So right there, his production on the court and his player efficiency rating is one of the highest, if not the highest, in the NBA. Right there, he makes up for the loss of those guys. You see what I'm saying? He's an unstoppable force. He could shoot threes. He could shoot the mid-range. He could get in the paint. He could offensive rebound. He could defensive rebound. And it's not a situation like the New York Knicks with Carmelo, because you have what most people call, or who most people call, the best player in the game in LeBron James. So you already have a star upper echelon player. You're mixing him with Anthony Davis, which is another star echelon player. Highly efficient, just like LeBron. Can rebound just like LeBron. Can score just like LeBron. Can pass just like LeBron. Can do everything just like LeBron. This is potentially a better version. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to blaspheme like that. But this is like a second coming of Kobe and Shaq. Because you have two guys that command double teams, two guys that can score, two guys that are highly efficient, two guys that have basketball IQ. You have to do this deal. Even though you're going to pay a tax, you're going to pay a penance, I'm telling you, you got to do this deal. And here's why I would say do this deal. Because now we hear through the grapevine, Klay Thompson, whether they get Anthony Davis or not, the Lakers get Anthony Davis or not, he looks at the Lakers as a potential landing spot if the Golden State Warriors don't offer him a max deal when his contract is up. So right then and there, Klay Thompson's on the table. Then you look at how Kyrie Irving reconciled with LeBron James and how things might not play out in Boston how he thinks they might play out, because depending on this playoff run, hey, Kyrie might say, I want to go back to LA. I understand where LeBron was coming from. They get Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, LeBron James. That's a championship in the making. That's literally a championship in the making. I don't see as then Golden State is very talented, but you looking at a guy Kyrie who could score, Anthony Davis who could rebound, LeBron James. I mean, going forward, based on what happens with Anthony Davis, if you get that in there, reel that in, now you have people like Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson. So even though you gut your team, you're going to get back such a return in veteran players. Like you're going to get Kyle Korver as a shooter. Well, Kyle Korver's kind of old, but you're going to get other players who are great shooters, great players that want to play with your team. Even Drew Holiday said the only reason he stayed in New Orleans is because of Anthony Davis. So whenever his contract is up, hey, he might go to LA. And that's one of the things that I want the Lakers to really use their competence instead of arrogance. Don't be arrogant enough to think this is a done deal. Go in there with high competence. Go in there with trying to give value, trying to get the team value. Go in there with an understanding of how they feel, how there's been collusion, and be respectful. Don't say we're the Lakers. Just be like, we really want to do a great deal that we both can come out of it. We have some budding young stars, and we feel like this will be a fair trade. Be very calm. Do not be arrogant. Don't say this is the Lakers. Don't say this is Matt. This is how things have been blown for the Lakers. They came across arrogant with Paul George, and that's why he didn't sign with the Lakers. The arrogance you need to have is a silent arrogance. You believe in yourself. Don't go in there saying this is magic, this is rings and all this other stuff, because that's not going to work on a team. Now, if it was a player in this free agency, you go there, you drop all the rings on the table, you show all the trophies, that makes sense. Organizations don't play that crap. You know what I'm saying? They're business savvy. They're trying to keep their market afloat and trying to keep their team where it's at. So you have to come there with utmost respect for the situation. So I'm saying coming there with the attitude of competence, respectful, and really hit the deal running. Because once you get Anthony Davis to the Lakers, the sky's the limit with all the other free agents. And you might even get Kawhi Leonard, because if Kawhi Leonard doesn't want to stay in Toronto, if he sees that the Lakers get Anthony Davis, he will, I'm telling you right now, he will take a lesser deal to come to LA. A lot of these guys at the front end like, he doesn't want to play in the shadow or whatever. Shadow of who? Because when LeBron leaves, it's going to be Anthony Davis and Kawhi Leonard. So those two would take over going forward with there as well. So business-wise, I'm trading the whole boatload. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not like you don't have another star player and that you can't get other players to come in a place where it's 70 degrees, 80 degrees throughout the year. One of the best, most valuable teams ever. And now you're getting marquee talent there. Who doesn't want to go play there? You're playing in the one of the best markets ever. Your branding is huge. So that makes possible sense. Now, when you look at this trade from an emotional standpoint, it's just like, I just drafted these guys. You want to build like the Yankees did back in the day. Derek Jeter, Bernie Williams. You want to build in that kind of way. if you look at the Knicks and the Lakers, they've always been notorious for getting rid of picks and players and stuff for trades. Like, that's how I got Shaq, via trade and stuff like that. So, our free agency, they always want to get stuff through free agency. They don't want to go through their farming system. And then when you look at players that are in the farming system, it's just like, damn, we could have had, you look at Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, all through the farm, all through the draft. It wasn't through free agency. And you're like, emotionally, you're like, well, what if Ingram turns into a star? What if Kuzma turns into a star? But it's not a what if game. It's right now. Because if you think about it, LeBron only has 2 to 3 more good years left. He already got injured. And this is very rare for him to have an injury, which is something I said. I said, he might get injured. And look, it happened. So you really got to pull the trigger on this deal. You're going to get other guys that could come in. You might even could whisk away some guys from Houston, if you look, or you could get the Trevor Ariza again. When I said guy from Houston, I'm talking about guys like PJ Tucker, guys that could, the 3-and-D guys. Because if you surround Anthony Davis with 3-and-D guys, with LeBron James with 3-and-D guys, it's not a problem, man. They will make it far in the playoffs because LeBron knows how to manipulate the game in a fashion to where he's very competitive and the team stays competitive. Look, the team is about 500 like this. So imagine with 2 stars on the team. They're going to play way above 500. Point blank, period. So this is a deal that the Lakers have to really approach and really pull the trigger on it early, or just risk, what's the saying? You snooze, you lose. So the Lakers can't snooze and lose on this potential trade. And for the Pelicans, they can wait. They can wait it out. You gotta feel bad for the Pelicans because they were the Hornets, their expansion team. It's just a big mess. It's a mess for these teams that the GMs are slow. When you have a star player, you can't be slow moving. You got to get aggressive and bring guys in there for them to win. You look at what happened with Minnesota, Kevin Garnett. You look at some of these teams that look. Remember the Milwaukee Bucks when they had Sam Cassell, Glenn Big Dog Robinson. If they would have been more, that Tim Thomas would have been more aggressive, get a marquee player. They could have made a trade, Tim Thomas and Glenn Dog Robinson for Tracy McGrady, get him to the Bucks. You got to be aggressive when you have great players like a Ray Allen or Anthony Davis. You can't just stand pat and think I'm going to do these small moves. You got to get creative and do big moves, or these guys are going to leave your team. And all that stand pat, being slow with it's going to be for no reason. So I hate to be a GM in this climate. Kevin Durant said, oh, why not these guys team up or whatever? And honestly speaking, why not? Because these GMs just don't know what they're doing. Half of these guys, they know how to keep the popcorn machine running, how the revenue stream going, but they're overlooking the most valued aspect of an organization, which is their players. Your players bring all that stuff to the forefront. So you got to take care of your players. You got to bring in players worth value and worth noting to really win championships, to really compete. Try to compete. Hoops Junction, where hoops meets hoopla. Like, comment, and subscribe.